radio for the masses.
Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army.
If the game is rigged, change the game. Game changer.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
This is Fade to Black with your host, Jimmy Church, on the Game Changer Radio Network.
All right. Good evening, Fade to Black. It is Thursday, December 11th, 2025. Let's do this, man. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. What a great week here on Fade to Black. It's always great. I always say, what a great week here on Fade to Black. But it's always great. Well, that's because it is. Monday night, John Olson was here, an amazing evening. His book series, Stranger Bridgerland. Tuesday night, Heather Lynn was here, the Anunnaki. Last night, we had Gary Heseltine here live from the UK, Rendlesham all night long. What an amazing show last night with Gary. And then tonight, Jason Kenzie joins us from the Great White North, Searching for Sasquatch. If you haven't seen his series, you can catch it on Amazon. I have. It's really, really, really good. So head over to Amazon Prime. We have links for Jason below on our website and throughout social media. And you can go check out Searching for Sasquatch yourself. Episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's all right there. My next event coming up is the Conscious Life Expo, February 20th through the 23rd, 2026 at the LAX Hilton right here in Los Angeles, California. The links for the Conscious Life Expo, of course, are below. And it's easy to do. Head over, check out the amazing roster of speakers and presenters and special events this year at the Conscious Life Expo. It is the biggest conference of its kind in the world. It's huge, and it's so much fun. It is just so much fun. So get your tickets and come and hang out with us. It's coming up quick, believe it or not. Today is December 11th. Christmas is 2 weeks away. This year is a blur. And, you know, when I was a kid and I would hear somebody old, some cranky old man like myself where I'm at today, go, man, the time is just flying by. And you're a kid and everything is slow. Christmas takes 5 years. That last month, you know, November, when you're a kid, Christmas might as well, it's a century away. You get to, you grow up and it's just like bloop, bloop, bloop. And here we are. Man, it's 2 weeks away. It's it's like you go to bed or you wake up, it's Christmas Eve. But happy holidays, everyone. And it's truly here. I was, before I bring Jason in, I was looking at the comments in the chat and Bill talking about California. And, obviously I live out here. And we've had a very mild winter compared to the last 3, 4, 5 years. It's been cold. I live in the Mojave Desert. I get snow every year. We got a little bit of snow last month with the rainstorms that came through. And we got a little dusting in the mountains. And it's beautiful for a photograph, but it doesn't get down here to where I'm at. Normally we get snow down here. Haven't had it. Yeah, it's really, really weird. But I can ride my Harley. I can. I got my Love Ride t-shirt on tonight. This is, in case you're wondering, I know you're not, but this is the Love Ride that I did just 2 weeks ago. That's how warm it is out here. And I feel a little guilty. I do, because I moved to California after scraping my windshields and digging my car out of the snow for one last time. I was like, that's it. I'm done. I flew to California the very next day. And I know what it's like, man. I grew up in the Midwest. I know what it's like to go to school, walk, 5-10 miles in one direction, and the snow is above your head. And you have to, you get to school like that. I did all that, man. Every morning, warming up the car to go to work. have to start the car, go back in the house and wait for like 15 minutes and then go out. I did all of that, man. Scraper in the back seat. Right. Shovel in the trunk. I know. Salt in the trunk, sand in the trunk, kitty litter in the trunk. I did all of that. So it's not like I'm just being a Californian and bragging about living out here. No, I came out here to escape it. But it's been really mild this year. I was on with Christina Gomez earlier today. Same thing for her. Just it's warm. It's warm. Watch next week. It'll be 0 degrees out here. All right, let's get things started. One of my favorite subjects on the show, I try to cover it once a week, is Bigfoot and Sasquatch and what is going on out there. Jason Kenzie joined us tonight. He's one of the leaders in the Bigfoot community. He's got his series out. I just mentioned you can get that on Amazon Prime, Searching for a Sasquatch. He's an investigator. And tonight we're going deep into the wilderness. I want to find out what he has discovered, what he has seen. I want some great stories and encounters. We're going to do all of that tonight. He's a nature photographer, by the way, and video. And I want to talk about that too as well. All right. So let's get straight to it. The links for Jason are below. I'd like to welcome for the first time to Fade to Black, Jason Kenzie. He's right there. Hey, Jason.
Hey, how are you, Jimmy?
I'm doing good. You even look like Marlon Perkins. You got your Mutual of Omaha shirt on, and
I have to, and I'm deep in the forest.
It's
definitely not a screen. No.
Yeah, the jungle of Vancouver.
Yeah, what was that?
Yeah,
exactly. The homeless guy pushing.
Oh man, welcome to the show. Oh, let's get the first time guest disclaimer out of the way, Jason. It's your first time on the show. I can't believe that, but it is. And the disclaimer is this: Jason, it's just you and I sitting on my couch having a conversation as friends, and where the conversation starts, it starts. Where it ends. But we're going to end as friends. There you go. Now you have to accept, so we can move on.
I accept it. I hate you already.
Yeah, exactly. I visit Vancouver a lot. Love the area, love Canada. But this is a memory that I have of Vancouver. One of the first times I was there, I stayed at the Pan Pacific Hotel like a million times, right? Great hotel. And it's right there, right on the water. And
very
Jason knows.
Inexpensive too.
Yeah, it's cheap.
Penthouse, just dimes and nickels.
Yeah. They have it's a grass thatched roof that they have there, and a lot of people love. So anyway, Pan Pacific, beautiful hotel. So I check into my room, and I go up to, and they have these floor to ceiling glass. It's insane. It's beautiful. So I walk up, and I'm looking out the window, and I saw my first seaplane land and take off.
Oh yeah.
And you see it every day. Me, first time, you're like, holy crap, look at that. They do fly, they do float, they do land on water. And they had a
crash into boats.
I could believe that. I could believe that.
Yeah,
but I stood there for about an hour watching how they do it. They got a little terminal, people line up, and they get on the plane and pulls out, and it takes off. Another one lands and pulls in, and it's weird. I should remember something else about Vancouver, but it was those seaplanes. I'd never seen them before. Really, really cool.
Yeah, they fly from Vancouver to Vancouver Island, which is also called Ape Island.
For real?
Yeah, for real.
Why?
The Bigfoot world, because there's been so many Bigfoot sightings on Vancouver Island.
Is that right?
So many, tons. Yeah, the First Nations people, they told me they've watched these creatures down by on the beaches, clamming, digging for clams. Yeah.
What's that? What is that when you eat shellfish? What do you call a pescatarian? Vegetarian.
Yeah. Oh,
carnivore. It's
um,
pesca something.
yeah. I think it's called weird. No,
Yes,
that's not
yeah.
right. That's
Well,
not right.
so Bigfoot shells for shellfish.
Yeah,
Wow. Okay.
yeah. They've been
Wow.
seen, going after wolves, which, are going after the salmon. Right. Remember, the wolves on Vancouver Island are the only wolves that are known to fish for salmon. Literally will jump into the water and grab the salmon and will only eat the brains.
Did they do they eat the salmon?
Well, they eat the brains of the salmon and then they leave the rest of it. And then the bears will come and eat the belly, and then they will leave, and the eagles will eat the rest of the salmon. And you'll see fights all the time. And the First Nations peoples told me that they have seen Bigfoot and wolves fighting over some of the salmon.
Somebody says it's pescatarian.
Yeah,
All
that's
right,
right.
all right. Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. I was up in Alaska 6 months ago. I'm up in Alaska, deep in it, and I was taught how to spot bald eagles. And never, I've seen bald, but never like that, right? And suddenly now I know what to look for, and I look and they're right
Yeah.
there, just everywhere. And I mean, if in one spot, I probably counted 40.
Yeah.
Just looking like this, just you see them and they're always looking at you. Like anyway, I look over out the window, and there's a creek right next to our vehicle. 15 feet away, 20 feet away, right next to the road. On the other side of the creek, it's a creek, is a bald eagle standing there. He's like 4 feet tall, right? It's huge, right? And he's standing there and he's looking right in my eyeballs. And as he's looking, he takes his claw and he goes bloop into the water and pulls out a salmon. Doesn't take his eyes off of me.
Yeah.
And he bites it. Arr! And then walks away. He had the salmon in his foot.
Yeah.
And he walked up the ground. Was wow.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That would be really cool to see that. I've been to Alaska once. I drove to Alaska.
Well, you're next door to Alaska. You're in Vancouver.
Oh, well, I'm still about 3 days drive to Alaska.
Oh, is it really that far south?
Yeah, okay. North. Yeah, it's way up there.
I mean, Vancouver being that far south. I didn't know.
Yeah. Well, Vancouver is literally on the border of Washington. Like, we sit literally on the border. So, yeah, with that far south.
The series is great, and I've caught a lot of it. Searching for Sasquatch. I've watched it on Amazon Prime, and I look at your style and the way that you go at this, and I just have to back up and ask, what drives you? What got you into this?
Well, for one thing, I love a good mystery. That's what I love. I love a good mystery. I love the fact that there could be these monsters and these creatures running around the forests. So I got into it by accident. I was a wildlife photographer, pet photographer for 25 years, traveling all over the world and North America, interviewing and photographing their exotic pets, like tigers and bears and ostriches and you name it, wolves, bobcats, monkeys, all kinds. So I got to really know the insight of animals because no one's an expert of an animal than the owner of an animal. So I would learn that. And I did that for many, many years. And then COVID hit and, it shut down everything. And I was driving myself crazy. I didn't know what to do. I had a web series called Jason Kenzie's Animal Adventures, which you can find on YouTube. There's about 400 videos of behind the scenes of my animal photo shoots and the interviews with these people. And when everything got shut down, I wasn't able to do my animal adventures. And I was sitting down with a friend of mine, and Paul, I'm venting. That's what I'm doing. I'm venting. I'm complaining about not being able to do. What am I going to do? And he jokingly said, well, why don't you do something on Sasquatch? Maybe it's an animal. And we laughed at it. And then I stopped and I took a step back and realized I was in the middle of the fire pit. And then I jumped out and I said, well, you know what? That's a good idea. Maybe it might be an animal of some kind. So over the years, I've heard people, like I've met people who had encounters with these Bigfoot creatures. So I went and talked to them. And in turn, they sent me to someone else that had an encounter. And I took a video camera and I started interviewing them and filming them. And then they introduced me to the First Nations people, and they pointed me into an area up north where they believe that they call them Sasquatch people, like the forest giants. And they pointed me to where they lived. And I was a 20% believer back then, back in 2019. I went into the forest. I took a helicopter, dropped in, and looked around. And there was a lake that was up there. And in the lake, you could clearly see all these footprints that went right across, hundreds of them. And I had a drone. So I droned the lake, and you could clearly see all the footprints. And they were like with toes and everything. And I was like, oh my gosh. Then I found trees that were ripped. I found trees that were ripped out of the ground.
Wait. We'll get back to this. But this is your first.
Yes.
You've made up your mind. You're dropped in with a helicopter, and you go in and find Sasquatch Highway.
Yeah. So anyway, I took the footage and I showed it to the First Nations people, and they said that I found the migration path of the Sasquatch people all the way from Alaska to California. But I also found
how big were the
they were probably, I think the smallest one was probably about 14 inches.
Wow.
But they must have been up there 18 inches. And there was hundreds of them. And I have all the footage. And so I put it into a documentary. And that was the first Sasquatch, Searching for Sasquatch, The Crossing. And it blew up. It went viral. I think it's sitting at almost 700,000 views. But it went to 400,000 views within a couple weeks. And then Bigfoot, people interested in Bigfoot, they were calling me up and wanting to fly me out to their areas to go out with them. And I said, sure. They wanted to show me where they were having encounters with Bigfoot. And I had my very first conference where they flew me in and had me speak at this conference. And it was amazing. I met some amazing friends that I still have to this day. And they took me out into the wilderness out in Michigan, the UP of Michigan. And the place was crazy. Crazy. The stuff that happened. Do you want to hear some?
Yeah, of course, man. I'm on the edge of my seat, man. This is great.
Okay,
so this is okay. We're in the UP now.
Yeah, we're in the UP. So in where I live, I found trees that were ripped out of the ground, turned upside down, moved, and jammed into the ground, which was crazy to find. I found some other footprints and howls and stuff like that. Now skip to Michigan. They took me out into the UP. And so while we're on ATVs going through, we went pretty deep into the UP, and I looked over and I see this giant tree X, massive. So we pull over and we jump off the ATV to walk. It's about 20, 25 feet off the trail. And sure enough, this giant tree X, 30 feet tall. One tree looked like it either was pushed over or it fell by Mother Nature. But the other tree, the roots it was ripped out of the ground and moved from somewhere else because there was no hole where it was, and it was leaned up against it. And then there was another tree that was on top and clearly stood out like a sore thumb. And I said to everyone, I said, well, and they told me they believe that the tree X's are like a warning, either to us humans or other Bigfoot creatures, do not cross. Danger. This is our territory. I turned to everyone and said, well, how about if I hang a hammock tent underneath it and I'll sleep there in the night? And they all thought I was crazy. So, I did that. So everyone parked their vehicles, like they're about 25 feet where the road was, and then another 25 feet on the other side of the road. And when I say road, it was an ATV, pretty much an ATV trail. I mean, it was enough for one vehicle. If there was two vehicles, no, you won't be passing. Someone has to anyway, they all tented. There was about, I want to say 7 or 8 of us. And so when we went there at night, as I went into the hammock, I heard a howl way into the distance. And now it's about 11 o'clock at night. And we were all sitting around the campfire for the longest time. And then nighttime came and I went through, laid in my tent, and I heard the howl way in the distance.
Man.
And in the middle of the night, I'm sleeping there. I'm like, and that's how I sleep, right?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, crack. I was like, what the? And then I hear crunch, crunch, crunch. And I'm like, oh my God. And every time I took a step, I could feel the vibration off. And so anyone that doesn't know what a hammock tent is, it's like a hammock, but it has a bug, like a
cover,
mosquito,
cover. Yeah,
a mosquito netting over top of it, and then you can put a rain blanket tarp over top of that. I just had the bug, the mosquito netting.
Oh, so you're wide open.
Oh my God, I kinda.
You're Sasquatch bait.
Yeah. So so it's like crunch, 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 and I'm like, oh my God, I could feel the vibration off the string, off the hammock. I could feel it every time I took a step, and I'm like, oh my gosh, is that is it a pig, a bear, maybe a cougar? I'm like, but it's so heavy sounding, and it's walking. It's like crunch, crunch, and then it stopped. And then it grunted in my ear. And I was like, oh, and I started shaking uncontrollably. I was like, have you ever been so scared and you were shaking that you were trying to stop yourself from shaking? And it was it was hurting. It hurt you so much. And
I'm doing it now.
I'm frozen. I'm frozen there. And I don't know. So stupid. I'm thinking if I don't move, it won't know that I'm here. I mean, it was probably watching, me for a good couple hours before, and so I'm lying there. And when it grunted, I could almost feel it through me. I could feel the grunt, not just hear it. And it must have stopped within 10 feet of me when it grunted. For all I know, it was probably 20 feet away, but it just sounded like it was right next to me. And I had a camera in my lap and it was running, but I was too scared to move. And then it turned and it started walking away. Crunch, crunch, crunch. And same thing. Every time I took a step, I could feel the vibration of the step off the string. And it went crunch, crunch, crunch. And nothing. It's like it stopped. And so I yelled out. I was like, David, is that you? Because I was with another researcher and I hear, yeah, Jay, what is it? I'm over here. And I unzipped really fast, jumped out. I ran around the tent and there's David sleeping on the ground about 20 feet away with his back against a tree. And I'm like, dude, was that you walking around? He's like, no. He's all bundled up. He's like,
he didn't hear it. He didn't.
No, he said, no, Jay, I was sleeping until you yelled my name and I woke up. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? No, it wasn't you. So for the next half an hour, we looked for footprints. I mean, I have to back up a little bit. While we were walking to the hammock tent to sleep for the night, there was the most disgusting smell that we walked into. And over the years that I've researched Bigfoot, I believe that their stink, if we could see it, would be a wave of smell, like a blanket of stink floating through the air. That's what I think, because it hit us and it almost made me throw up. It stunk so bad, and then it was gone, just like that. So it gets crazier, just to let you know.
Okay, let's go.
That was nothing. This is like that was mild. So I went back to camp. So we went to sleep. Well, we tried to sleep, but I was basically just in my hammock like this going. And while it's walking up, I'm thinking, my God, I'm already wrapped up as a burrito. I should just brought some hot sauce and just rubbed it all over me. You're going to eat me. I'm going to burn you. You know, get the hottest, hot sauce on the planet. You're going to eat me. Oh, I'm going to make you suffer. So went back to camp the next morning and I told everyone what happened. And everyone's like, wow. And then I felt as if people were like behind my back thinking, I don't know if Jason was really saying the truth, because he's new. He probably wants to fit in. Maybe he just made this up. Like, I just felt like that. I mean, just the way I just felt like people, some of them didn't believe my story until one of the researchers went there the next evening to retrieve a recorder, and he comes running back and he goes, "Oh my God, guys, I just got grunted at from the darkness." It scared him so much he ran back, and we're only 40 feet away. So I was like, wow. I'm like so happy that another researcher experienced that grunt. And we heard howls through the night. Like, we were there for probably a week. But the next night, I'm sitting around the campfire with everyone. And one of the researchers came walking in and pointed to a researcher beside me and said, "Okay, come on, let's go. It's nighttime, right? Let's go. I'm going to go retrieve the recorder that we put in the morning." And the researcher beside me was like, "No, I'm not going out there. Are you kidding me? It's terrifying out there." And then he's like, "Oh, come on. I don't want to leave it out there all night." And then I jump up and I said, "Okay, I'll come." So I grabbed my video camera and off we went. And we walked down the trail. And the trail was decommissioned. So as we walked, there was tall grass that was probably about 3 feet tall. So no one's been down that way. Then we found all these trees that were pushed over. They were all pushed over. There was a row of them. It was really dense trees beside us. Very dense. But there's one area the trees were pushed over. Like, here's the thing. The roots were not showing. The trees were like manipulated in a way where they were bent over, and they're thick. They were probably about that thick, and about maybe 6 or 7 of them in a row. We had to go underneath and climb over to get through. We couldn't go around it because it was too thick. And so I was learning about the twists, the branches that were broken and twisted. They were twisted and broken, and some of them were as skinny as my pinky, or were as big as my arm, and they were twisted and broken. And I was filming them all. As we're walking, as if they believe that as the creature's walking, it's breaking as it's walking. Don't know why. I mean, I know us humans do that sometimes, because when you're walking to the forest, you want to try and make your way back. But I'm pretty sure Bigfoot doesn't, get lost. I doubt it.
Maybe he had a gimp leg, and he was using it for assistance.
I know, because some of the branches were small, like really skinny.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And they're all like 7 feet tall. So I'm filming all this, and we get all the way to the end. And we were looking at wolf tracks. We were looking at cougar tracks. And yeah, it was. And then we got the recorder, and then as we were walking back, and as we're walking back, we see these two tree breaks in the middle of the trail, like completely in the middle. And as we're walking, we're probably 40 feet away, and I'm like, huh, I don't remember this. Like, it was in the middle of the trail, like, and as we walked up to it, we're looking at it, and we could see that the sap was dripping. It was freshly broken, both of them. And as we're looking, it was like crack, and we jump, and we turn around, and we're looking at the far end, maybe 100 feet. And all of a sudden, a creature steps out onto the trail.
What?
And you could clearly see the eye shine. You can see the eye shine. I have my video camera, and I'm filming, and I'm like, I'm shaking, and I was having trouble focusing with my video camera, and we could clearly see the eye shine. And then it was probably about 9 feet tall. And then all of a sudden, it blinked or it closed its eyes. And then about maybe a minute later, another one had taken a step back, and it was just out of reach of the infrared light on my video camera. So we could see it with the light. Then another one walked out, and it was shorter. It was
so there was 3?
No, there was 2.
2. Okay.
So one closed its eyes and then took a step back and then opened its eyes again. Then another one walked out, and it was shorter. So the first one was probably 9 feet. The second one was probably 7 feet.
Wow.
And it's looking at us. I'm freaking out. And the researcher beside me is like, okay, don't run. I'm like, run? Where am I going to go? I'm in the middle of the forest. I mean, if these things are going to kill us, it's just going to walk up and, like, there's no point in running. And then all of a sudden, Blake is like, Jay, listen. And you could hear cracking in the forest. Like they're walking around it. Like, and we're watching this for like 15 minutes. The eye shine, the two creatures, it was like 15 minutes. It wasn't like half a second and it was gone. We were standing there watching and freaking out while we're hearing others cracking. Then either they just turned their heads and they walked off the trail. And then as soon as they did that, we ran up to the spot, and we looked for tracks, and we couldn't really see tracks. We could see wolf tracks. We could see cougar tracks. As we turned and looked, we could see that it was open, dense trees on either side. It would be hard for me to squeeze through. Sure enough, we looked, you could clearly see something could easily just walk right through. Mm-hmm. And then we walked back to the tree breaks, and we're looking at it, and we're like, my gosh, it's as if they wanted us to stop. So Blake turns around, and he's looking towards where we were looking at these two creatures that were looking at us. I pretended to take a step forward. And as I took a step forward, so for like 30 years, I taught dance, like hip hop. And so, I used to do dance moves. And so I did this one step like a robot, and I took a step forward and just turned really quick. And there was this creature that was standing behind a tree, and it dropped to the ground. And I had my video camera facing me. And the reason why is because I had just finished filming this way for like 10, 15 minutes. So I needed a different angle. So I'm talking on camera, and I went to and I was like, oh, I look, and it drops to the ground. And then I think there was a second one that took a step behind the tree, but I'm focused on the one on the ground, and it's about maybe 15, 20 feet away from me. And it looked like a giant spider, like a crab, like a giant spider, as it went vroom, vroom. And I could see just the blackness of it and the white of the eyes as it went across the trail. And I'm trying to focus. And remember, I was talking on camera. So the white screen, my eyes were diluted from the light. So when I turned and looked, I was having trouble focusing, but I could see the outline. I'll never forget the eyes. As it went across, the eyes did not bounce. It was like it was on a gimbal, and it was smooth as butter as it stared at me the whole time. It was like boom, boom, in the forest, gone, just like that. I almost fell backwards. The whole thing lasted no more than probably 10 seconds. It hit the ground, went across. I'm looking at it as it went across, and then I almost fall backwards. I'm freaking out. Blake, oh my gosh, I saw something. I'm looking, I'm wondering if it was a wolf or a cougar, or maybe just my imagination, because when you're in the forest, your imagination can take control and you start seeing stuff when something's not there. And I was trying to wrap my head around what I was trying to see, because we saw cougar tracks and we saw wolf tracks. And so I'm looking at, and then Blake turns around and goes, what? After I calmed down and tried not to, run, we started walking. And as I'm talking on camera, and I didn't see this till 2 months later when I was at home editing, because I edit my documentaries on camera, like with the lights off. As I'm talking on camera, you see the eye shine behind my, like 5 feet behind me, which I didn't see in real time. It's as if it didn't think I was looking at it, but I was talking on camera. And when I saw
it was
that,
right behind you.
It was literally in the bushes. It
Wow.
must have crawled into the bushes and stood up, because it was over me. And you see it on camera. You see the eye as it's looking as we're walking. So it gets crazier. Just like
it gets crazier.
It does. It's freaking crazy. I know. It's
Wow.
my first time on an expedition, and it was
Let me ask you.
unbelievable.
Can I ask you a quick question, and then we're going to move on?
Yeah.
So you mentioned you were at 20%.
Yeah.
Now you go to the UP. Where are you sitting after your first day?
So I was probably from 20%. After the UP, I had moved up to probably 30%.
That's it? After that?
Yes, because everything was at nighttime.
Yeah.
And because I couldn't clear, I could see the shape and I could see the shadow. But these creatures, they seem to know how to stay just outside of the light. It's crazy. Like, I've been now researching for almost 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
The stuff I've seen, the howls, the screams, the things I've seen over the years. And let me tell you something. After researching 20 different places throughout North America, different states, different areas, from the Rocky Mountains of Canada to the Rocky Mountains of Colorado to Texas to Florida Everglades to California to Minnesota, Arizona, you name it. Like, I've been to so many places. The UP is the place I've had the most activity and the craziest experiences.
The UP.
Like,
I've been up to the UP a bunch, and
it is
my
crazy
family's
out there.
Yeah.
And yeah, that is probably one of the, I mean, I've had some crazy stuff I've caught on camera. The Michigan was the one that I walked up on with my camera, and it was standing like 15 feet, like another one, not the UP. This is a whole other one where I came around some bushes, and there it was. And this time I was recording, and you could clearly see the eye shine when I came around the bushes, it was standing, I want to say probably 7 feet. And I had my camera on, and it was so funny. This is the camera I had. I had this camera, and I'm standing there like this with my camera, and you can't see it, but there's a little tiny red button.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, there's a little red button right there.
Yep.
So I'm like this. So over the years, and all the people I've interviewed, they always tell me the same kind of thing. And this is crazy, because I've interviewed people from all over North America, including Europe. They all say similar stuff. And in Europe, it's not really Bigfoot. It's like other monstrous creatures like werewolves and stuff that people have seen, the walkers and the crazy stuff. But they say the same thing. They saw it. They look down for a second, they look back up, and it's gone.
Now, I knew you were going to say that. I knew that.
Yes.
I haven't had a direct Bigfoot encounter. I've seen
Yeah.
footprints, and things.
Yeah. So I come around the corner and it's standing there 7 feet. I literally did not look down. My camera is on. It's not recording, but it's on. And I'm looking at it, and it dropped and it went behind bushes. I watched it, and my finger is like this. Where's the button? And I'm standing there and I'm shaking, and my finger is bouncing back and forth trying to find the button. And I hit the button, and I'm standing there, and within that half a second, 2 seconds from the time I pushed the button, it dropped to the ground, went behind the bushes, and it was doing this behind the bushes. And I'm standing there shaking, watching it. And my camera wasn't on a zoom. It was still on almost like a wide angle. So in the video, when you see the video, it looks like it's far away. It wasn't. It was like 20 feet, 25 feet, like easy. And I could see like the blackness of almost like the nose, and the eye shine just stuck right out. And all I'm thinking, because I was with a psychic and someone that, she said she could speak to the big mind speak with the Bigfoots. And as we're running through the forest, there was like 6 of us, and we could see the eye shine of them looking and running. And I'm running after something that's running through the forest, and I'm running full speed, and I'm pretty agile. I'm jumping logs, and whatever it was outpacing me, and it was gone. And meanwhile, this psychic, this medium, she kept saying, Jay, stop running after him. It's a young one. It's young. The name, she said the name of it. I can't remember at the moment. And I was with 5 or 6 other researchers. So 2 or 3 of us are running through the forest. So we're all seeing the eye shine. We're all hearing them run. I'm catching the eye shine. I'm catching the running, like the sound of it as it's crashing through the forest. And then what happened was, I said, okay, everyone stop. Let's just turn off all the lights, and we'll sit down and we'll just listen. So we sit down, we turn off all the lights. After about 5 minutes, my ADHD took control of me, and I couldn't sit anymore. And I said, okay, I'm going to take a walk over here by myself. And I thought I had seen some eye shine. Like I thought I could see it. And it was funny because we had no light. So then I could kind of see, like I thought it was like a light, like a couple eyes. So I'm walking, I walk away from everyone. I'm about maybe 30 feet from everyone. I come around the bushes. There it is. So while I'm standing there watching whatever this was watching me, all I'm thinking in my head is I'm waiting for the adults to come behind me and go, nah, hit me on the top of the head and kill me instantly. That's what I'm thinking. That's all I'm thinking. And it didn't happen. Thank goodness. Of course, my neck just hurt all of a sudden. Right. I used to be 6 feet tall. So, but yeah, so anyway, so back to the UP. Okay.
Yeah. You said it gets crazier.
Yeah. So we walk back to camp, and we could hear it walking beside us on either side. And we get back, we start telling everyone about what just happened. And, Blake was there, and we're all explaining everything, and it's so fresh. I'm sitting around the fire. I'm still kind of shaking because I'm still wondering what I just saw. All of a sudden, I had a walkie-talkie, and Dave Dominique, he is a kind of a retired special agent. Like he used to work for the U.S. government as an agent for a 3-letter word that he doesn't usually like talking about, but he's retired. So on the walk, I'm sitting with everyone. Everyone's around the campfire except for 2 people. That was Dave and another guy. I hear, Jason, get over here. I'm like, what is it? They're about 30 feet away from us. So the trucks are parked on this gravel logging road beside us, and they're about 20 feet, 25 feet, maybe 30 feet from us, from where the campfire was, and they had their backs pressed against one of the trucks, and he goes, Jay, there is something behind the tree watching you guys. I'm like, really? Okay.
Oh.
So I start walking through the forest, and I'm walking at an angle, and I get over to, and there's stumps and everything. There's no trail. When we walked through the forest, there was no trail. We just found an area where we could pitch the tents about 30 feet from the road. And I walk through, and I get to them, and I'm like, okay, where is it? And Dave, we have a military style flare. Now, I know this makes me mad every time I say this. It's a very expensive piece of equipment. And when I say expensive, I mean like $15,000 for this bloody military style that did photos and video. But for some odd reason, the bloody thing malfunctioned. It just didn't work. It didn't record video, didn't do photos. My brand new Samsung phone, I think it was an S22. I just bought it 3 weeks early. The video camera on my phone would not work. Would not. It totally did not work. I was so mad that I was ready to go. When I got back to Canada, I was going to go march back in and go, what the? I bought this.
You don't have to censor yourself.
Yeah.
You don't have to. Yeah.
And so my phone didn't work. The video camera, my camera did not work. So he said, it's behind the tree, about 20 feet from us. And when I mean 20 feet, I meant 20 feet directly in front of us and 25 feet from where the campfire is. So I take the flare and I move it over. I'm like, oh my God. You could clearly see there is this creature. There's a tree that's blocking it, but you see the back of the creature, white hot, and you see a bit of the front of it. And it is looking that way, not looking at us. It's looking that way towards camp, where we were all sitting around. And we had a fire going and everything. I said, David,
20 feet is close, man.
It is close, like 20, 25 feet. Yeah, it was close. It wasn't.
I'm looking at 20 feet, out of the studio to the door there.
Yeah, with my door.
That's too close for me.
It was close. So I said, okay, David, I'm going to walk towards the campfire that way, and then I'm going to walk through the forest towards it because I was going to push it out. I was going to push it out from behind the tree so it would walk out. So imagine this is a tree. It's behind here looking that way. I was going to push it out this way, and then David would get a clear shot of what it is. So I have my video camera, but I turn off my light. So I'm stumbling through the forest, and it's so stupid again. I'm trying to be quiet as if the creature doesn't see I'm there. And I had my camera rolling, but I wasn't trying to catch it on camera. What I was doing was I was trying to get the audio of it. And I can't see nothing. It is pitch black. My video camera, I have it closed, so I'm walking through the forest, and I walk out. I walk towards where the people are where the campfire is, but I only walked about maybe 15 feet. And then I walk towards the creature, and I'm stumbling through the darkness. Meanwhile, everybody is still oblivious to all this. I'm stumbling. I could hear it walking, and I'm like, David, I'm scared shitless, by the way. Like, I am fucking scared. I'm like, because what just happened only happened maybe 45 minutes earlier. So now I'm in the forest. It's black, and I'm walking towards something that I clearly is there. It's white hot, and I'm walking. I could hear it walking. I'm like, David, what do you see? What's going on, David? He's not answering me. I'm like, David, what's going on? The guy got frustrated because he wasn't answering me. So I turn my light on. I start walking back to David, and I walk up, and I said, David, I heard it walk. Did you get it? Jimmy, as I'm sitting here in front of you, you would not fucking believe what this creature did. No. And everyone in the comments, I will be understanding when you say to me that this is full of, like,
right.
You will not believe what this fucking creature did. It walked away using the fucking tree as cover. It didn't go like this. It walked out this way. It walked out using the tree as if it knew that David had a fleur that could see it. And the tree was probably about 3 feet in diameter. It was a nice sized tree. So whatever that was, it was so big that it wasn't covered by the tree completely, because you could still see the back sticking out and you see a bit of the front. But it blew my mind. It just made me think that whatever this is, it's very intelligent. It knew I couldn't see it because I had my video camera going, but it didn't. It just walked. It walked out using the tree. David was blown away. Couldn't believe it. And I was so glad that I had other witnesses that were with me that could verify that this happened. And I wasn't just imagining it. So, and just to let you know, Jimmy, for anyone that watches my videos, by the way, like my documentaries, if you see me stumble and falling on my face, it's on purpose every time.
Yeah, of course.
Like that. But
Jason,
yeah.
let me ask you this before we go to the break.
Yeah.
The Bigfoot community is divided into different segments of what they think is going on. And I'm wondering what your take is with all of the research. Is Bigfoot an undiscovered species, just flesh and blood, avoiding humans? Is it something else, more paranormal, interdimensional, that appears and disappears? Is it ET, right? Is it Wookiee? What do you think is going on?
Well, at this point, I mean, you always hear things like when trail cams blitz out, and you're always like, okay, yeah, until it happens to you, until you actually experience it, where the footage before and the footage after work perfectly, but the actual footage of whatever took the sucker out of the tree is completely corrupted. But the footage before of you setting it up, and then the footage afterwards when you come and take it down, work perfectly. But the actual footage of whatever took the sucker out of the tree blits out and is so corrupted that even when you spend money for a professional to try and fix it, can't even fix it. It makes me wonder if I think it is flesh and blood. I think it is a mammal or some kind of a animal of some kind, but I think it has some very special abilities. And the thing is, because I know animals and I know animal behavior, when I go searching for Sasquatch, or when I go and I experience stuff, I usually go back to, is there some other animal on this planet that does have that ability? So a good example is invisibility, or extreme cloaking, or camouflage. Well, I think, is there an animal on this planet that does almost become invisible or extreme camouflage? Well, the cuttlefish is a prime example. The octopus can literally morph into looking like coral, or the cuttlefish almost goes, almost translucent and blends in. The stick bug. I mean, even the polar bear. I mean, the fur of the polar bear is translucent. It literally shifts it, but the polar bear will shift its body where the light from the sun will actually hit the translucent fur in a way where it basically almost goes invisible. Like it actually knows that when it shifts its body in a certain angle, that it basically almost becomes invisible. Like it basically blends in with the snow perfectly. So that makes me think, well, maybe Sasquatch can have extreme cloaking. I mean, maybe it just hugs the tree, or maybe it can actually just shift its hair in a way that it can just it blends into the environment.
I saw a video that was pretty interesting. This wasn't on, the internet. I was with a researcher, and the video. Well, I think it's in one of my TV shows. Anyway, that part doesn't matter. The video was incredible because they were walking up a trail. 2 or 3 people in the back. The last person, he had a cam, a GoPro pointing backwards.
Yeah.
Okay. And another one pointing forwards. They didn't see what was caught on camera, but this is what happened later as they're reviewing their footage and they're going through everything. Behind it was scary too. Behind them, you see. It's not even an exaggeration or anything, but you see this. You see an oval, maybe, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 feet tall. You see this distortion on the side of the trail, like pointing across the trail.
Yeah.
And I'm going to change cameras. So on one side is this oval.
Yeah.
Forest, trail, I'm going backwards. Trail, forest. And you see it kind of like shimmer.
Vibrate or shimmer.
Yeah. And then this thing steps out of it, and it's not like a full crystal clear Bigfoot. It's a shadow, but it steps out.
Yeah.
And it's big. And so when I saw it, now they freaked out. Imagine if you saw it in real time, but they didn't.
Yeah.
It was behind them, and I think that was with intention. But they never saw it. Now, to suggest that this is possible, well, that's one thing. But to see the evidence and the video footage,
yeah,
it was pretty incredible to me. And that adds this interdimensional aspect to this. So maybe both things are going on. Maybe there's a species that's undiscovered, and then there's something else.
Maybe. I mean, why does it have to be half and half? Maybe it's all one.
It could be. I know.
Right?
I know.
Maybe it's flesh and blood, and it's an alien, and it's
interdimensional. Yeah.
Some alien dropped down, had sex with a monkey.
Right.
Had these creatures. I mean, who knows? I can just imagine that. Okay, I'm sorry about that. And then right?
Yeah.
Right.
No.
Maybe it has these abilities. Maybe it's all in one. Maybe I don't know what. It can't be that far-fetched. Now, here's the thing. I have not seen a portal, and people have said they've seen portals, they've seen all this stuff. I haven't physically seen any portals. The thing is, there's nothing in the wild, or no animal or anything that I know of that crosses into a portal. So I can't really jump into the portal yet. I have seen orbs. I have captured orbs on video on my Bigfoot expeditions. We've watched the orbs go through the forest, colorful, like colored, blue, red, green, orange. Like I've seen that with my own eyes. So that's exciting. And no, it's not someone with a flashlight because there's no sound. Like I take 2 steps and you can hear me walking. You see something moving and you just stop moving and listen. I mean, unless, it's not a light. Like it's not a flashlight. It is definitely something moving through the forest, and it's gliding. It's not even like, no one can move a light that smooth, really.
No, I understand. I've seen it. Jason, stay right there. We need to take our break. Let's get that in. This is Fade to Black. Our guest tonight, Jason Kenzie. Jason, stay right there. It's all Bigfoot, all Sasquatch, all night long. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Jason, we'll be right back. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Stay with us. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to get your alerts and access to over 2,000 videos. Click that subscribe button right now. JimmyChurchRadio.com and get the Fade to Black official podcast. 2,000 episodes, all of them commercial free for just $2 a month. I am hosting, speaking, and presenting once again for the Conscious Life Expo, the largest conference of its type in the world. February 20th through the 23rd, 2026 at the LAX Hilton. Speakers, event, and schedule easy. Just visit ConsciousLifeExpo.com. I will be hosting and speaking at the Sedona Ascension Retreat, March 20th through the 22nd, 2026 in Sedona, Arizona. An amazing list of speakers, and it's beautiful Sedona. Come and hang out with us and just go to SedonaAscensionRetreats.com. I'm heading back to the Midwest for the Contact Modalities Expo, May 1st through the 3rd, 2026, in Delavan, Wisconsin, at the Lake Resort. It is beautiful. This is a great conference right in the heart of the Midwest, where I'm from. I'll see you there. Just go to Contact Modalities Expo, that's XPO.com. I will be hosting and presenting once again at Contact in the Desert. That's May 28th through June 1st, 2026, the largest UFO conference in the world. Come and hang out with us June 23rd through July 1st. Tickets and everything else that you need is at contactinthedesert.com. Want to change your life? Want that paradigm shift? Then visit Peru with Brian Forster and myself for the Inca Celebration of the Sun, June 23rd through July 1st, 2026. A full 10 days of visiting the country, all of the amazing sights, and of course, the celebration of the winter solstice. It's all simple to do. Go to hiddenincatours.com. Come join us for the Monty Python Scotland Tour, August 1st through the 9th, 2026. This is a once-in-a-lifetime event where you get to go to the castles from Monty Python and the Holy Grail. August 1st through the 9th, 2026. Just visit HaleyARamsey.com. Watch Into the Vortex on Gaia TV. It's Fade to Black for the screen. Simple to do. Go to Gaia.com, search Jimmy Church, or click on the link below. Follow Fade Black on Twitter at JChurchRadio. Get all of the show updates every single day. It's now called X, but who cares? Go to JimmyChurchRadio.com and become a Fadernaut. Get a membership. That's right. Everything is commercial free. You have access to downloads, and you get to call yourself a Fadernaut.
Jimmy Church, Gaia TV, Fade to Black, here at Machu Picchu with Brian Forster and Hidden Inca Tours. Amazing tour so far, Brian, but we're here to announce what we're going to do next year in 2026. What's going on?
Okay, November 2026, we're going to have our major tour of Peru and Bolivia, either a pre or post tour of Paracas and Nazca on the coast. And then after that, 6 days in Easter Island.
Bucket list, Easter Island. Come join Brian and I and the amazing team here at Hidden Inca Tours for Peru, Bolivia, and Easter Island. Signing out. Say goodbye, Brian.
Bye, gang.
River Moon Coffee, makers of the Fade to Black blend. Truly the best coffee on planet Earth. Just visit rivermoonwellness.com or their Amazon store. It's all simple to do. You can check out the Fade to Black blend, the Game Changer blend, or any of their Black Moon Wellness products. It's the only coffee I drink. It is the best, and it's Doc. Again, rivermoonwellness.com. All right. Welcome back, Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Tonight, Jason Kenzie is with us, searching for Sasquatch. And you can go and check out his series of stuff right there on Amazon Prime. It's easy to do. Go and search it and check it out. His links are also below. Jason, what if I was going to go squatching? I haven't officially squatched, by the way.
Well, you should come out with me one of these days.
I would love to. No, seriously, I would absolutely love to do that. And if you want to get something set up, I'm there. But if I was to go squatching, what gear do I take?
Well, I mean, obviously, you want to take a night vision camera, like a video camera, tripods, some colored lights. A good thing you can use also is a ball that lights up, that flickers, because these creatures are very curious, and I believe that the ones that come near you are young, like teenagers. You just like when we were teenagers as kids, mom, dad, okay, go to bed, don't jump off the roof of your and go walk around town. And what do? You wait for half an hour and then you jump off your roof and go for a walk. I think the creatures do the same thing. You want, nice 2 flashlights. That is very important. Minimum 2 flashlights. Never go into the forest, even if you're not going out Bigfooting. Take 2 flashlights. It's a life changer. Because if one flashlight dies, you have the second one, right? And that's very important. Bug spray, lots of bug spray. Damn mosquitoes.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, a flare is really good. Common sense, right? Don't go licking a beehive. I won't do that again. God. But yeah, all that kind of, all the gear, good running shoes.
Wait.
Running.
Did you say don't lick a beehive?
Yeah, like come on, you have to scoop up the honey.
That sounds like a bad idea. That sounds like a bad idea. The footage, I've often said, and I mean this, if the UFO community had a piece of footage like the Patterson-Gimlin film, it would be case closed on UFOs.
Yeah.
And so the Bigfoot community has the Patterson-Gimlin film, but it's still not case closed on Bigfoot. Why do you think that is?
Well, I mean, we really need to study it. And I'm not talking about killing it, but like you need to study, a body, living or dead. You just need to have that. You can't just, hey, look, I see it. It's that's how it is. And now that AI is advancing so hard that it's getting harder and harder to even a video won't cut it now.
Yeah, it's true.
You need to like get picked up by one, carried off into the forest, and then come out with some babies. See, this is little Bigfoot Junior Jay, right? You just need to study a body, living or cease, right?
Okay. So let's say you and I are out squatching and we have that face-to-face thing. What do you do? Do you stand your ground?
Yes.
You do.
So I have Yeah. Yeah.
You don't cut and run. I'd probably run.
Yeah. Well, there's two rules that I have. If you come out with me, number one, no hoaxing. Like no pretending to throw a stick off into the forest and say, oh my gosh, there's something there. No saying you see something when there's nothing there. No sneaking off and pretending to be a Bigfoot. Oh, I'm going to go take a piss. And that's number one. And the reason, I want it to be real, right? I want the Sasquatch to be real because my passion is the mystery of it and going after it. If I was hoaxing it, then I would get bored fast because I would know that it's fake and it would be boring to me. But the fact that, there's a huge percentage that these creatures are real. So number two is don't run. If you come out with me, you can't run. You're in the forest. Where are you going to go? Do you know how many camera people I've taken out, like videographers, and all of a sudden we get roared at or throw something at us and the camera guy wants to run for his life? I'm like running after the camera person. Oh, not because I care about him. He's holding my video camera. I'm like, give me back my video camera.
When I'll make this really brief. I have a golfing partner. This is many years ago. And before I was broadcasting. And he shares this story we're playing golf, right? And somehow Bigfoot comes up. I don't know how it happened, and then he tells us, we're in a foursome, and he tells us this story. His parents have a big ranch up in Montana, and they would go up there. The family lives in Southern California, but they go up for the summers in Montana. And I think they had it was crazy, like 10,000 acres. And they had a river that ran through the property. So he would go and get on his motorcycle and drive away from the house down to the river and fish and by himself. So he's there fishing and a rock, lands next to him. And he thinks it rolled off of the slope behind him. Doesn't think in it, then another one, then another. So he's like, man, there's a landslide here, right? So he moves up the river and starts fishing again. And then he said, a bowling ball sized rock, boom, lands next to him. And he turns around and on the hill is Bigfoot looking at him like this. And he said she was a she. I don't know why, but he, and so he runs up the hill. He's a teenager. He runs up the hill after it. He gets up to the hill and he sees it down the hill running into the trees. Never caught it. Now that's his story. And this is just a guy, playing golf with us. And it was a fascinating. But now that I've done as many interviews and shows and things that I've done on the subject, I hear this repeated a lot.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
Is this Bigfoot saying, get out of here, this is my area? Or is there another? We don't really hear about Bigfoot killing people. We don't hear.
I've heard a couple people that one guy.
Have you had stuff thrown at you?
Yep. Yeah, I had stuff. So I was in Ohio and I was doing a documentary on the Ohio grassman, and we're in the middle of the forest. I'm with the Sasquatchers. The Sasquatchers is a group of female research team, all female, and we're walking through the forest and we see eye shine. I see the eye shine. I'm filming, and for one thing is we heard the crack in the forest. That's what made us turn, and we're walking, and they're behind me off to the side and I'm in front of them and I'm walking. I guess they feel as if that, they'll get me first and not them. So I'm walking towards it and I could see the eye shine. I'm getting on camera. Then all of a sudden something threw a log or big rock beside me. And I was like, whoa. And I turned like that. And when I turned, the thing I was walking towards ran off and it scared me too. So this is exactly what happened. I'm walking towards it. I'm like, crash, whoa, crash, whoa, whoa. Like it was just like that. I turned when it hit the ground, like whatever it was. I couldn't find what hit the ground, but I turned, and then what I was going towards, ran. So that tells me it didn't want to kill me.
No, it shows high intelligence.
Exactly. Right. And so, yeah, like there is 21 documentaries, 21 that I've done, and not just Bigfoot, but Dogman. I just did Mothman. I did a documentary on Mothman. I did it on the skunk ape. 3 times I went in and did 3 documentaries on the skunk ape. That was fun. And just to let everyone know, you can find it on Amazon Prime, but only in Britain and in Europe. You can find it on Tubi, and you can find it on Fossum. So Fossum is like a new streaming platform that you can only see Searching for Sasquatch on the TV app. So you go on your TV with the app store, and you find the Fossum. It's like awesome with an F. I'm pretty sure Fossum, the F stands for fucking awesome. That's
Yeah.
right.
Yes.
But yeah, and that's where you can find it. You just put Jason Kenzie into the search bar, and you'll find. And
have you been able to communicate?
Well, I mean, one time I was being silly, and I did like a chimpanzee sound into the forest, and got screamed back at, as if it was mad that I did that to it. And I was just trying anything to get a reaction. One time I'm sitting around a fire, like a bonfire with a bunch of guys, and I turned, I stood up. I said, man, we've been here for 2 hours and it's nothing. I mean, this is fun and dandy. I love sitting around the campfire, but I'm going to do a howl. And the guys
No. Why?
Oh my God. That's exactly.
The Beast of Bray Road. You've heard the stories, right? The Beast of Bray Road.
Listen, you said you did exactly what the one guy did. He's like, no, don't do that. It's lame. You look silly. I'm like, we've been here for 2 hours.
Yeah, but you're asking for trouble.
I said, just for shits and giggles, I am going to do a howl.
Okay.
So I did a howl. Jimmy, as I'm sitting in front of you right now, within less than like maybe 30 seconds after I did a howl, we got a blood-curdling howl behind us, probably about 40 or 50 feet in the forest, like it was watching us. And I was in mid-sentence when it howled, and filming the whole thing. And I was like, oh my God. And we're listening. All of a sudden, another one howled in front of us.
Exactly.
It was probably a mile away. And then all of a sudden, the coyotes went. And I love it when the coyotes howl, because after a Bigfoot howl, because they sound different. Like the Bigfoot howls, when they howl, it doesn't start and then peak and then end. It's like one straight. Like when they howl, they don't go 0 to 60. They're already at 60. That's what makes it different than us humans. When we do it, we're like, woo! Right? When they do it, it's hard. It's like, woo! Like they already are they're already at 60 when they do it. It is like that, but loud. And because of the infrasound, you pretty much almost feel it too.
You know what I have found, and you've done enough of this now. I'm out alone a lot. I ride, my Harley out into the desert or to the mountains, and I'm by myself, and I encounter a lot of nature. I do. And I've seen stuff. Not too long, I saw a mountain lion. In the open too, on the side of this mountain, this hill, and I watched it. It was pretty big too, by the way, right? And I'm watching, but I am sure it knew where I was, probably a quarter mile away or so. on the other side of it, but I'm looking and I see it moving, and I look and I get out my phone and I zoomed in, took a couple of pictures, and there, walk. But I'm sure that it saw me, but it either wasn't hungry or didn't give a shit about me, and just avoided me. 2 days ago, I'm on my Harley out in the desert, and I see this coyote running through the desert, trotting, I should say, and comes up to the road. I slow down. It looks at me. I slowed down, and it walked across the road, kind of looked over its shoulder at me, and then kept trotting through the desert. It didn't care about me. It was avoiding me. You know what I mean? I think that's a typical thing with nature. They
with
instinctively know that we're not fun. Humans are not fun.
Well, the cougar, you were sitting on your Harley.
No, I was sitting on a rock next to my Harley.
Yeah, so you were looking pretty big to that cougar. It didn't know what you were, probably. It was like it sees this big, black, shiny, big Harley, and then the rock, and then you, right?
It didn't care. I can tell you that.
It didn't care, and the chances of it attacking you is very slim. They say if you see a cougar, it's too late. Usually they're already jumping at you.
But you know what I mean? I'm sure it's the same thing with Bigfoot. Oh, the coyote that I saw, by the way, a little side note, it was pretty interesting. As he looks over his shoulder, he or she, and looked at, we connected eyes. I was going pretty slow, maybe 5-10 miles an hour. I swear on all that I love, it goes, whoo, like little.
Yeah. Well,
usually kept on going.
Usually the human voice to a wild animal means danger. That's why they tell you to sing or have some bells, because wild animals usually run away from humans. So here we are in the middle of the forest, and I've seen these creatures like stalking us, like walking along. Like 1 minute you see the eye shine, and then you walk another 200 feet and you see the eye shine again. That's not typical animal behavior. Deer, bear, bobcat, moose, deer, they all will run away. And I'm not quiet in the forest. I'm not someone that's just whispering as we're going. I mean, these Bigfoot creatures know that you're there. I mean, obviously, I get people that tell me all the time, oh, well, as soon as you get out of your car and you step foot into the forest, the Bigfoots know you're there. I'm like, I don't know about that. I mean, the Bigfoot is like eating something 5 miles away. I don't know if it knows that you're there. That's why I howl. And usually 45 minutes after I howl, things start happening. Mm-hmm. I think the creature's like, huh, what was that sound? Oh, I'm going to go and...
What about the tree? What about tree knocking?
Yeah, I mean,
do you do it?
Tree knocking. I mean, the thing is, we don't know what we're saying, right? For all I know, the Bigfoot's like, what do you mean? My underwear's showing.
Right.
We don't know what we're knocking on the tree to them. They could be like,
Have you encountered? Okay, this is just my twisted brain, so go with me on this, Jason. Have you found the remnants of like a Bigfoot village?
So. Last year we found a nest. Finally found a nest, and it was just it was amazing. It was big. It was like 7 feet in diameter, and it looked like a giant robin's nest on the ground. It was the most incredible thing to see. And right before we saw it, something like yelled or growled at us right before it, and then we heard something run into the forest. And on video, I caught so much eye shine of things watching us. And there was like probably about, 8 of us walking to the forest. And and it was one of the most amazing experiences, and filmed the whole thing. And that one is in the Dogman special, like the Dogman Claws of the Dog.
The nest is in
the
Dog
nest
Man.
one is in that one. Yeah, it's Searching for Sasquatch 17. That's the newest one. And right now I'm working on 4 new Bigfoot documentaries as we speak. One being a skunk ape documentary. Yeah. And then the next one's going to be a Mothman that I'm editing. And then the other one is going to be the Rougarou of Louisiana.
Why haven't we found a body yet?
So I go back to like thinking, why haven't we found a body? Why haven't we found bones? Is there animals out there that we don't really find the bones of? And don't say bear, because even though bear is rare to find, I have found 2 bodies of bears in the forest. One where the bear must have died 2 days prior because it was full. It looked like it was sleeping. And the only way I found out that it was dead was I walked up and kicked it. The other bear I found was partially a bear, but it still was fully intact. It was maybe 25% was gone from wild animals. But elephants will walk for days to get to an area to die. They'll go where no humans go and they will die. And only a few years ago, they found a elephant burial site with over 1 million bones and thousands of dead elephants, like the bones. Whales do the same thing. If whales get sick or they know they're dying, they'll swim to the bottom of the ocean to as far away as possible, where no humans or anyone can go. It's very rare to find, bones of whales. So I'm thinking maybe they do that too. Maybe Bigfoots, they walk. Because here's the thing. People always tell me, leave these creatures alone. Stop going after them. And I'm like, I'm in the wilderness with like 500,000 hectares of forest. I make camp, and all of a sudden there's creatures around me. They came to me. You don't go to them. If the Bigfoots really, truly did not want to get seen or even heard or anything, they can go anywhere. The Rocky Mountains of Alberta. We have 2 million hectares of forest and places in the Rockies where humans have never touched foot.
That's right.
Places we can't even go to.
That's right.
That Bigfoots can go. When we were around the campfire, if it didn't howl at us, we would never have known that it was there. So why? Why did they do it? That's the question.
Yeah, I have driven through Northern California, through in one ride, right? Through Oregon, through Washington to the Canadian border on the back roads. I've done this. I'm here to tell you, anybody listening, when you're on those back roads like that out in as you look, you can tell no human has ever been there. It's too thick, and it goes on forever. You could just nobody's ever been in there. That's nature. And so not only if you're Bigfoot, but anything else, you'll never be found if you don't want to be. If you're a human and you never want to be found, I'll tell you right where to go. Nobody will ever find you.
And that's the thing. These Bigfoots, they could go anywhere. And sure, if they really truly can go through a portal, well, then if they are sick or dying, then they just pass through a portal and go into another realm.
Have you seen that? Have you seen footprints just start? Nothing behind it, and then stop.
I have seen that. Yeah, I have seen that. I always find one footprint. I'm like, my God, this means Bigfoot only has one leg. Huh.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
there we go.
I've seen 4 in a row, right, left, right, kind of in an arch. Yeah, they were like 6 feet apart, and they were big too.
Yeah.
Anyway, but nothing. And the first one was deep.
Yeah.
Right. It was deep, and I'm a big fat white dude, right? And I'm standing next to this fresh print, and I'm not making a dent in the ground. It was pretty wild. But the thing is, we looked, for more print, none. More of this, none. Only those 4 right there. And it's like, man, he's like dropped out of the air and then flew away. I don't know. It's very hard to explain. And here's the other thing. You mentioned hoaxing. So as I'm looking at these prints, and I'm freaking out as I'm looking at it, it didn't make any sense. But if somebody was running around with Bigfoot shoes on, hoaxing this, how were they making the dent into the ground? That's the thing where I was just confused about. I'm trying to be objective. I'm trying to think through this. But if it was somebody running around with feet on, Bigfoot boards or whatever, how are they making the dent into the ground? I don't know. And I could see the grass. You know what I mean? I could see the grass, and it was crazy to see.
Well, when I was researching the skunk ape, we found 7, like a whole trackway. I want you to look at the screen. See where it says "I was there." Yeah. Okay. That's one of my moderators. His name is John. He was there when we saw this. I'm telling you, that's cool. It was nuts. That's really cool. Hey, I was going to say, I actually spoke at a MUFON conference as a big expert. The one in Michigan. It was the Michigan UFO Contact.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a UFO, and they brought me in as a Bigfoot expert to speak.
Why do you? Okay, thank you for bringing that up. Why do you think the Bigfoot community is divided on that subject?
Well, they're not.
Right? They don't want anything to do with UFOs, and then half of the community is like, "No,
it is changing." I'm telling you, it's changing now. It is 6 years ago when I, started doing this. If you went to a UFO conference and you even brought up Bigfoot, they'd throw you out almost. They'd just get mad at you. And even the paranormal, if you went to a paranormal conference and started talking Bigfoot, people would get mad at you. So I have now, after 6 years, in the last 2 years, I've spoke at a UFO conference. I've spoke at 4 paranormal conferences as a Bigfoot expert, taken people out on small expeditions, at the paranormal and at the UFO. It was pretty cool. And it's now slowly the UFO and the paranormal are now kind of somewhat accepting it, or at least they are a little bit open-minded, a little bit more. And maybe California is different because I know there's a few UFO conferences there, and I don't know how they feel.
No, we're open to it. I say we, like I'm the UFO community, but I cover like this show.
Yeah.
I cover whatever's interesting to me. So it could be everything from crystals and life after death, the ghosts and spirits and UFOs and ancient history in Egypt, science. I have a lot of scientists and physicists on the show. I'm really interested in that aspect of it, and Bigfoot, and other things too as well. I have
a paranormal documentary series too called Paranormal Adventures, where I travel all over North America, interviewing eyewitnesses who's had paranormal experiences, and then we go into haunted castles, haunted hospitals, and it's a lot of fun. I did that through Europe just recently, looking at haunted locations and stuff. And people might get a kick out of my paranormal adventures. Look for that too.
Is it on your website?
I think it's on my website, on my Facebook. It's called Paranormal Adventures. You know what? You just have to Google Jason Kenzie, searching for Sasquatch and paranormal, and you will find like tons of stuff. Tons. I was going to say, I do have some audio I can play. Yeah, something really like a roar.
Yeah, let me hear it.
That is okay. Okay, here we go. Okay, so this was caught in Minnesota, right? It's called a Minnesota roars.
What the fuck? How? What? Well, okay, wait.
So that's a small one. I mean, sorry, that's a tiny file. I have another one that has about 5 of them all freaking out, like freaking out, like they're all going crazy.
Now that sounds ginormous.
I know.
That
You want to
sounds
give it? You want to give the other one?
No. I got to sleep tonight, Jason.
There's another one that has. It's only a minute long.
It's only a minute.
It's here. Here, I'll play this one too.
What?
Do that one in the background.
That's in Minnesota?
Yeah. The Red Lake Indian Band Reservation. Give it a second. They all freak out. Here it comes. Right here. So did you hear that one? The one that went, whoa, 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 whoa.
Heard them all.
So we had a primatologist, someone that studied primates, that heard that. And when she heard that, this one right here, and it goes, whoa, whoa, whoa. That one.
Yeah, interesting.
She said there's no animal on this planet that can make that sound except for gorillas.
Do you squatch at night or during the day?
All the time. I love it. I go at night. I will go off trail, and I'll go in a few miles off trail, like no trail, just going over stumps and logs. And I mean, that's the best way to find tree forts and tree structures. And yeah, I love going off trail. I mean, I'll go down the trail so far, but then I just want to veer off and go in. So if anyone wants to go out with me,
after hearing that, I'm second guessing my first decision.
No.
Do you ever gift?
Yes. Yeah. So like I said, I put a sucker out once.
Okay.
And I put a cam out, a tree cam, and I came back. The sucker. So before I stuck it in the tree, I was like waving it around, going, "Okay, Bigfoot, this is for you." It's a big sucker, like it is like this.
Okay.
Big, and it's wrapped in plastic. I'm like, "Okay, Bigfoot, this is for you. Hey, if you don't like it, please don't take it or throw it away. I will eat it, okay?" And I stuck it in a tree knot. 24 hours later, I went back, walked up, it was gone out of the tree. I'm like, okay. And then my buddy that I was with goes, "Oh, Jay, it's down there by your feet." Bent down, picked it up. The plastic was still on, except there was a nibble taken out of it, like the plastic was broken, little nibble. I'm like, oh, it's must have been a little pack rat or maybe a bird or something. So I took off the wrapping, ate it. Probably have Bigfoot DNA in me.
Right.
And I took the cam down and put it in my backpack, and that was it for that. I get home like 4 days later. I get home, I take it out, take the memory card out, go through, and I'm going through each picture and each video. Excited, as I'm going through the videos and photos, it's getting closer. Like I know it's going to, because I'm excited to see the pack rat or the squirrel or whatever because I like nature and animals. So I thought it'd be kind of, be fun to see a squirrel. And it's getting closer. I see it. Okay, I'm taking it. I see, and I'm putting it up. Okay, I know the next one's going to be it. And completely corrupted. Did not work. The only one did not work. The next file after that, me taking it down, walking up,
Of
it
course.
worked perfect.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I almost think that the Bigfoots have that ability of manipulating like electronic stuff. My phone did not work. The camera on my phone did not work, and it was only a few weeks old. Literally, and Jimmy, I understand it sounds like I'm making this crap up, but as soon as I got on at the airport, took the plane, I landed in British Columbia, I got out of the plane, I'm walking to the airport, my camera starts working. I'm able to take pictures and video. But the entire time that I was in the UP, my video camera and my camera screwed up. For the first day and a half, my camera worked. I was able to take pictures. Then it just started not working, and then it didn't work at all. And I was furious. So, and then I got back. I'm at the airport, and I'm going through my phone, and I'm like going, oh, fucking stupid, stupid camera. And I go and turn it on, and it worked.
It works.
I was like, are you kidding me? I'm like, and I didn't think anything of it. I know people were telling me that. And then the military FLIR, it did video, but it did not work. It malfunctioned. Same with the pictures. And we're talking very expensive.
I wonder why he didn't like the sucker.
I don't know.
What
I
do you
do
think?
not know.
Okay, are Bigfoot now? I've heard different things. I've heard that Bigfoot loves deer, elk, and stuff like that. I've heard that. But I've also heard the vegetarian side that they're not carnivorous.
You know what? I think they eat everything that bears eat. I really do. Right down to squirrels, moose. I mean, I've had witnesses tell me that they've seen Bigfoot tackle a moose or walking through the forest with a giant moose, like over their shoulder. Another person said, like, she was a little girl. She watched a Bigfoot running after a squirrel, picked up a rock and just flicked it. And the rock just hit the squirrel smack in the head. It was up in the tree.
Now you've done a lot of shooting and your documentaries and interfacing with the locals. What are some of your favorite stories that you've been told? Favorite encounters?
Well, I mean, there's some disturbing ones. What I can tell you, what surprises me, that eyewitnesses tell me they've seen these creatures up close during the day, and clearly don't have any junk showing. Right?
Okay.
Like, you think that if they're like part human, part, that you think that if they're like 30 feet away from you, that you would see something. They can't all be females. Like, well, actually, now that I think about it, I mean, there is some wildlife in this world where the females do the hunting and the males look after the kid, the babies. So I should bite my tongue on that, because maybe the females are the ones.
I never really thought about that. That's pretty interesting. Yeah, I never. Never thought about that. Okay, give me another one.
Okay, so this lady, she was very young. She was 12, and she was sitting by a river, and a Sasquatch stuck its head out of the water directly in front of her, and she was frozen, and it reached over and gave her a fish, like a trout, big trout.
Is that your phone going off? I thought it was mine.
Sorry, I had it on vibrate. Yeah, it gave her a fish and then went back into the water like it was. Yeah. So that was a cute one. There was a disturbing one once where a guy let his dog out to go pee, and he heard and he runs outside with a flashlight and walks around his house, and then sees a Bigfoot standing there with his dog under his arm. He freaked out, and the dog and just turned and walked into the forest, and that was it.
Took his dog.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he had PTSD for the longest time, and probably still does, because for years he couldn't go to sleep without seeing the look on his dog's face, because the dog was,
that's
the dog was with big eyes open,
Yeah.
like looking at it, whimpering a little bit, and then knowing that this was the last that he'd see his dog. So, I've heard that a few times from people.
Well, if Bigfoot's like us, then they wouldn't eat dog. Dog would be a companion. You know what I mean? Maybe the dog lived a good life.
Well, maybe. I mean, I have had witnesses say that they've seen wolves running alongside Bigfoots, and you know what? I would believe that story, because I do know wolves that have that followed grizzly bears. How dogs have teamed up with grizzly bears and are running side by side with grizzly bears. I've seen this. I've seen cougars with deer walking beside it.
There was a press release. I reported on this like 2 weeks ago. Check this out. These researchers, wildlife researchers, are investigating some invasive crabs up in Alaska that are, like eating all of the stuff in the water. So they've got all these cams set up, and they've got bait out in these crab traps that are under the water with a buoy on the top marking where the crab trap is, right? And a line to the trap. And guess what they caught on camera? I watched the video myself. It's incredible. Friggin' wolf, female wolf, swims out into the water, grabs the line to the trap and pulls it to shore, and then gets on shore, backs up with the line in its mouth, pulls the crab trap to the shore, and then grabs the bait trap next to the crab trap, grabs the bait trap, opens it up, and eats the bait.
Oh, just the bait. Just eats the bait.
Yeah. Doesn't eat the crabs.
Yeah.
And to watch this, you know what that says to me?
Yeah.
Nature is smart. That wolf was in the tree line watching these guys lay the trap. Right? Yeah. Knew the line, knew what was going on, saw it get baited, right? Yeah. Knew where to get the bait, which is on the buoy. Absolutely fascinating to watch. And
it's amazing. It really is. I was doing a research. I was doing a documentary before it got, kind of shut down because of COVID, but it was climate change and the impact it has on wild animals. And I was researching the Vancouver wolf, and I found that it's a little bit more dangerous than the timber wolf and the other species of wolves, because it has dog DNA in the Vancouver Island wolves, and that makes them a little bit more dangerous because they'll attack humans more than a timber wolf would. So it's interesting how they learn, and they learn to go after fish.
Do you think? Let me ask you, in the time that we have left, the UFO community, UFOs, ET, we have the Men in Black, right? Okay. Yeah. Do you think there's a Men in Black for Bigfoot? Do you think that there's Fed agents out?
Well, I mean, I've talked to a special forces guy who would not go on camera no matter what. And older guy, and he said back in the, the early 60s, he was on a mission where he actually was dropped in. They were there to kill an aggressive Sasquatch.
What?
And he
Really?
said that the government has talked to these creatures and made a pact with them to say, you leave the humans alone, and if you attack and kill a human, we'll let you live among us. But if you injure humans, then we will have to take you out like a rabid dog. Like if a dog bites someone, you take out that dog. He said he was on a mission by helicopter, and they went after an aggressive Sasquatch that was coming too close. I think it injured someone with a rock or something, and he was tasked to go and.
Did they find him?
They found it. They killed it. They hooked it up on a big net and pulled it up and flew off. And I'm just saying what he was telling me, right? And he had pictures of him with Clinton, like at the time when he was in special forces. Like he had pictures of him, a purple heart. He had a purple heart from when he was in the military. So he was like, real deal guy. I mean, he had a lot of PTSD and stuff, and but yeah, I mean, this is just what he was saying. I mean, I don't know if it's true, but after all this time exploring, looking for Bigfoot, I am now a 50% believer, a 50-50.
I'm 50-50. I'm in the middle. I'm in the middle too.
Yeah,
I can go either way
because I need a daytime sighting. But I did do something kind of interesting. I published a graphic novel called Searching for Sasquatch in the Hidden Treasure of Bigfoot Valley.
No, that's cool.
About an elite group of, Bigfoot researchers that go into the forest looking for a dog and that gets kidnapped by Sasquatch, and they go through a portal into a new time, and they get attacked by these Bigfoots to try and they find all this treasure. And
is it an autobiography?
No. It's fictional, but the Bigfoots are trying to stop from us from taking the treasure. And
is it available on your website or Amazon?
Yeah, you can find it on Amazon.
Okay.
Called Searching for Sasquatch, and I actually.
We're on very limited time here. So right now we have this big push for UFO disclosure, right? And it's talked about a lot. I think the world is ready for. It doesn't really care much about ET or UFOs. We're too acclimated. But what about Bigfoot? Can the world handle that kind of revelation about Bigfoot? What would be the implications of that if it happened?
Well, I mean, obviously, if they do actually discover that Bigfoot is real, and it's like no doubt, the forestry industry is going to be having a cow, because obviously, just like the spotted owl, once they find that there's a spotted owl in the vicinity, there is no clear cutting, there is no logging in that area because you want to protect that species. So if we find out 100% that Bigfoot and his family, hundreds of them, maybe thousands of them in an area, there's not going to be any logging. And it's going to be probably, a couple 100,000 hectares of land that will be protected. That's a lot of money to be lost in logging. So that would be one big impact. The parks and rangers, people will not want to go into the forest at all. Hiking will almost cease.
No, of course.
Yeah, I mean, except for the diehard, the people that like Bigfoot. Only 0.1% of the population of North America. We're talking like 1 out of 1,000 people, maybe even more, 1 out of 2,000 people literally go into the forest at night hiking. Very little. And I'm talking at nighttime. I'm not talking about campers, because campers, they drive to a spot, they pitch their tent, they don't wander into the forest. And
no, I've seen that movie. I've seen that movie, Jason. I'm not going into the woods at night or the forest.
That's the thing. And so the things I've seen in the forest, right? The things I've seen in the forest is crazy. Like I said, the screams, the howls. Now, if you check out Searching for Sasquatch 5, the Texas screams, we got surrounded by these creatures, and they were screaming like that, howling and roaring and screaming all around us. It was amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Are you armed? Are you armed?
No. But I'm telling you, I'll knuckle sandwich, like, get over, Cameron, reach the head.
Yeah. I don't see that happen.
No, but usually someone I'm with, I mean, is armed. Usually. Like if I'm in
it's for other, it's not necessarily for Bigfoot. I mean, you've got mountain lions and bears, and
that's the thing. That's the thing that I'm not really scared of bears and cougars and stuff, because I know they run away. It's when these things are watching you and they stay around.
I don't mind hanging out with other people at night. But would I go hiking in the woods alone? No. I did
that a couple times. It's terrifying. One time, my flashlight died, so I'm trying to get back to camp, and I'm by myself, and it was pitch black, and that was it. I had to sit down, put my back between a tree, and it was out here in BC, so the tree was huge, probably 7 feet in diameter. So I put my back to it, and I just sat there listening to all the sounds of the chipmunks that sound like Bigfoots when you're scared, running around, and I waited until I could see a little bit of light. So that's why I tell you, 2 flashlights, everyone. If you go into the forest, bring minimum.
Look, I keep at least 2 flashlights next to me at my desk, let alone out in the woods. I was a bunch of friends. We're in Panama. We're in Central America.
Yeah.
And we're out on the edge of this of the jungle, and there was a cliff face that we could climb up to. It was probably, I don't know, 40, 50 feet off of the ground, and there was a ledge there, and it was perfect. And so we would hike up to it, climb, and get up there with a cooler, beer, some good weed. I'm 15 years old, 16, and we're sitting there with our feet dangling off this ledge. And we're looking at the runway of this Air Force base in front of us off in the distance. A beautiful, beautiful night. And I get hit by something. Bip. Right. And I was like, oh, man, a seed fell or something. Bip. Hit again. Somebody else. Man, somebody's throwing something at us. It was monkeys throwing poop.
Where was this?
In Panama. This is in Panama.
Yeah.
And man, I'm telling you, we're climbing down because we were getting pelted, man. We're climbing down. We're like, man, we're leaving. God, it was like gunfire. Yeah, it was crazy, man. All the way.
Yeah, that's amazing.
It was they don't want you there. They don't want you there, So when's your next project coming out, and where's the best spot for everybody to check out your work?
So if you guys just Google my name, Jason Kenzie, Bigfoot or Sasquatch, you'll find a lot of places. I do have a website, searchingforsasquatch.ca, Facebook page, Searching for Sasquatch, Fossum and Timu, Fossum and there's so many different
Tubi.
So many different places you can find me. My next project, I'm going to Europe in the summer, and we're going to go and do some filming for like fairies and dragons and some ghosts and other witches and vampires and stuff like that. But coming this summer, I have quite a few speaking engagements, I guess, speaking at some of the paranormal conferences, festivals, Bigfoot festivals. New Jersey, going to New Jersey. That's going to be fun. Speaking at the Paranormal Bigfoot in New Jersey conference. Maine, going to Maine too. Sasquatch Summerfest is going to be in July, so that'll be fun. Michigan, I'm going to another Michigan. It's not really UFO, but I think that's tied into it. It's a conference in Michigan, northern Michigan. Yeah, I'm going to be busy this summer. And, maybe if I come out to California, you and I can go and take a run out into the forest.
Oh, absolutely. You can come by my place here in the Mojave Desert. I'll show you some UFOs. Thank you so much, Jason. This was a great show, and I look forward to the next time that we have you on.
Yeah,
just an amazing conversation. I love your work, man. I love your work.
Thank
you so much, Jason. Enjoy the rest of your night. Tonight is my Friday. I'm off for the weekend, so everybody have a great weekend. I know it's Thursday, but it's my Friday. Jason, enjoy the rest of your night and your weekend. Thank you so much, my friend.
Have fun, guys.
Yeah, great show. Thank you so much. And so it's my Thursday. Thank you so much, Jason. What a great conversation. Love it when we do Bigfoot here on Fade to Black. And everybody, just enjoy your weekend. I will see you right back here on Friday. I'm going to sign out with, what's going on. Go back, Lee Tappy. Fade to Black is produced by Hilton J. Palm, Renee Newman, and Michelle Freed. Special thanks to Bill, John, Dex, Jessica, Dennis, and Kevin. Webmaster is Drew the Geek. Music by Doug Aldrich. Intro, Space Boy. Fade to Black is produced by KJCR for the Game Changer Network. This broadcast is owned and copyrighted 2024 by Fade to Black and the Game Changer Network, Inc. It cannot be rebroadcast, downloaded, copied, or used anywhere in the known universe without written permission from Fade to Black or the Game Changer Network. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Go back, Lee Tappy.